Back here on HQ Spotlight, we talked about it already at the top of the show. The conference finals in the association, those are officially set. It's the T-Wolves and OKC battling it out in the West final. Second straight conference final appearance for the Timberwolves. Over in the East, the Pacers, they are back in their respective conference final for a second straight year as well. This time taking on the New York Nova Knicks. They got the Pope on their side, allegedly, Tommy. And if you love parity, you're going to love these matchups because the Knicks are the most recent title winners in this squad in their current state, right? So the Knicks won the ship in 72-73. The three other franchises have never won a title. There's an asterisk there, right? Of course, because OKC won as the Supersonics back in 1979. So technically they have won, but just they're an expansion team. So we'll see. Game one in the West final kicks off tonight at 8:30 Eastern. So let's welcome in our coach, Avery Johnson, here to talk about it. Let's start in the West final because it's Minnesota versus OKC. We talk a lot about rest versus rust, right? In Minnesota, they've kind of been sitting pretty. They took care of their business against the Dubs, a very injured Dubs team with Steph Curry. We know that, winning in 5 games. And then on the flip side, you have OKC, who was able to make adjustments, and they did push it to 7 games. So the fact that the Thunder were able to do that and make adjustments and ultimately beat the Joker in Denver, how much more confident are you in this team versus a Minnesota squad who has kind of been resting a little bit and maybe not as battle-tested, you could say?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think the extra rest for Minnesota is going to be a determining factor, Jacqueline, in this series. I think Oklahoma City, they're ready to go. These guys are in superior conditioning, especially during this time of the season. So I don't really buy kind of the extra rest is going to give Minnesota a necessary edge in this series. Oklahoma City Thunder, they're a healthy team. Yes, they went to 7 games, but they didn't use that much energy against Denver in that last game 7, where they dominated Denver basically from start to finish. So it's not like they went in the double or triple overtime against Denver in game 7. That was pretty much a cakewalk. So they didn't use as much energy physically in that game 7. So I believe this Shai Gilgeous-Alexander-led team, they're going to be ready to go. And I'm picking the Thunder. The Thunder, I believe, has the most complete team right now in the Western Conference Finals. When you look at Jalen Williams and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and then, when you go on the other side, obviously Julius Randle is playing at a big level. I just think the others for both of these teams are going to be a key factor. And I think the guys that are 3 through 8 with the Thunder are going to be more the guys that's 3 through 8 in their rotation for the Timberwolves.
All right, so Avery, you have the Thunder coming out of the West. Let's talk about the East, which I'm very excited for because there's a lot of history when we talk about these two teams going all the way back to the Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, John Starks type of days, right? There's a lot of history there. When we're talking about minutes for these current squads, it's a big disparity, right? Because in round 2, all 5 Knicks starters averaged more minutes than the Pacers' most used player in Andrew Nembhard. So what do you think ultimately gives here, Avery?
I just think it's going to be the toughness of the New York Knicks. Coach Thibodeau, we talked about, they played too many minutes, as you alluded to, and Mikal Bridges, they traded for him and gave up all of these, 5 first-round draft picks, and maybe they overpaid OG Anunoby. But at the end of the day, this team is primed to return to the NBA Finals. And the last time the Knicks played in the NBA Finals, not the conference finals, was in 1999 when they lost to the San Antonio Spurs. So I think they're ready to go back. Jalen Brunson is a superstar, and he's captain closer. He's Mr. Clutch. I believe he's going to close better than Tyrese Halliburton, who's playing tremendous basketball on the other side with a well-coached team with Rick Carlisle leading their team. So I think between Carlisle, Tom Thibodeau, 2 outstanding coaches, I believe the Knicks, with the home court advantage, I believe all of these teams are going to protect their home court. But I think eventually the Knicks win this series in Game 7 because Jalen Brunson is going to close better than Tyrese Halliburton.
Now, Coach, I know you mentioned, you kind of threw it back a little bit, talking about, 1999. We're looking here. The Pacers, of course, we talked about it. Reggie Miller, Jalen Rose on the Knicks, the starters from the 2000 Eastern Conference Finals. What do you remember most about these guys? Patrick Ewing, so many iconic names, Charlie Ward, but what do you remember most about this time and what stuck out to you?
Yeah, what's sticking out is Patrick Ewing was injured during our series in '99. So Marcus Camby was the starting center. Everybody else on this list started for the Knicks when we played them in '99. Latrell Sprewell was my old teammate from the Golden State Warriors when he was first team All-Pro when Michael Jordan decided to go play baseball. But Larry Johnson, UNLV, tough, hard-nosed, physical, and then you got the Davis boys on the other side. And I can't wait. I believe Reggie Miller's probably going to be calling those games. So we'll see what type of reception that he gets in New York. Spike Lee. Oh, man, it's going to be an unbelievable series. The Knicks, even the crowd outside of Madison Square Garden, all of the Knicks fans, they're just going to be beside themselves. So, man, what a place to be. I guess the front row seats, Jacqueline, if you want to go sit on the front row at Madison Square Garden, I think they're going for $70,000. You can afford it.
Oh, is that it? Just 70 bones? Ain't no sweat, Avery. Tommy and I were joking about it. Who from Indiana is going to step up and be chirping Spike Lee? Like, who is going to come into that Reggie Miller role, if you will? That's what I'm excited to see. So, Avery, you were predicting a Knicks Thunder NBA Finals. So who do you think ultimately wins it all?
Wow. I really, the Knicks, man, I'm a huge Jalen Brunson fan, all right? Jalen Brunson, even though he sent me home, I'm a huge Jalen Brunson fan. I got a tremendous amount of respect, but I'm going with the Thunder. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder. This team, and I believe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be the MVP in the finals. And these are two guys that I coached against. I coached against Shai when he was at Kentucky. And, I didn't feel too good after those games because Shai, every problem that I tried to create for him, he solved it. I think this young man is outstanding. Man, what an incredible player. Pass, dribble, and shoot plays at all three levels. And I believe that the Thunder are going to beat the Knicks in 6 games in the NBA Finals.
All right, so there you have Avery's prediction. The Thunder would...
Sorry, Ashley.
Maybe she's not watching right now, Coach. Hopefully not. I won't tell her if you won't. With SGA as the Finals MVP, by the way. Coach, always great to see you. Always a pleasure, getting us even more excited for those conference finals that we have on deck in the association. And you're getting a look at the odds to win it all. The Thunder, they are the favorites at -180. The Knicks not too far behind at 5-1. Then comes the Timberwolves and the Pacers with the longest odds at +750. All right, we got to move the conversation over to the Diamond because the Mets paid a whole lot of cash, Tommy, for Juan Soto to bring his talent to Queens. We haven't seen peak Juan Soto on lock just yet. What is up with that? We're going to ask Julian McWilliams coming up.